If you locked in, bro, comment below. I'm locked in. All right. This is what it actually means to be locked in, bro. In order to be locked in, you got to essentially kill your old self and kill your old habits. There's a lot of old habits that we're holding on to. And see, everybody want to throw the term around locked in, and I do it too. But what about the basic understanding of what that means for you, and how you can actually implement that into your daily life? Being locked in means that you're putting away all the distractions. So it's action over distractions. It means that you're tapped into the grind each and every day. It means that you're being consistent, disciplined, and humble with expecting results. What does that mean? It means that you're not in this for the short haul. You're in this for the long haul. You're willing to wait to see results. You're willing to put in the work and see the results come when they come. See, the problem is a lot of people say that they're locked in, but they're only locked in until they're like, hey, I've done this for a week. Where's the results? Not realizing that you got to turn it into a lifestyle. It has to be a lifestyle. You got to do it until. There's no until when, it's only until. And so people only want to do things until they reach their goals, because that shows that they weren't truly hungry for it in the first place. In order to be locked in, you got to be hungry for what you want. You got to be hungry for your goals, and you got to be a goal getter. And that means that you're going to get your goals done no matter what happens. You're going to keep going even when you reach your goals, so you can set new goals. Being locked in is not just about a moment. It's like when people want to get fit and lose weight because it's a birthday shower coming up, or it's a birthday party coming up, or it's a wedding coming up. So now they want to lose weight. Now they want to look their best. It's not really about that. It's about looking your best all day, every day, because it's a lifestyle. It's not about the momentary. It's about the long lasting. It's about the longevity. It's about what your life is going to look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. That doesn't mean that you guys are working each and every day of your life for 365 days for the next 10, 20, 30 years, because that's not a life that's fully enjoyed. But it's about having harmony, and it's about working until, taking a step each day, moving in the right direction. Some days you're going to be sick. Some days you're not going to feel good. Some days you're going to fall short. You're going to make excuses. You're not going to get the work done. It's all about getting back up. That's what manhood is about. That's what being locked in is about. That's what consistency is about. You're not going to be perfect, but it's about getting back up and continuing that fight, continuing that journey. It is a journey. It is a lifestyle. It's not something that you could just buy into today and then exit out tomorrow. You're not going to see any results with that type of mindset. You got to turn it into a lifestyle, and you got to put the necessary work in order to make it happen. What does it mean to be locked in? What it means to be locked in is it means turning up, bro, to the next level. Going the extra mile. Putting all distractions away. You know, and being locked in, you know, people are going to feel that. You might not answer calls the way you used to. You know? Now, if your mama calling, your parents call, a close friend calling, they mean a lot to you. It might be an emergency. Yeah, you answer that call, man. You know, make time for that. But you may not have all the time in the world for friends. You trying to lock in and focus on you. You finally want to pour into you. You know, back then, bro, there was no social media. People used to write letters, and they used to come in the mail. They had to wait 2 to 4 weeks for it to send and ship. Then you open up the letter, then you got to write back to the person. Nowadays, somebody texts you, they expect you to respond that same day, that same hour, that same minute, that same week. And if you don't rock with them. But that's not really what it is. You do rock with them. You do love them. You do appreciate them, but you love yourself, and you're trying to appreciate yourself and appreciate the results that comes with locking in. Now, I know it's easier to communicate nowadays. You could just shoot back a text and tell people, hey, I'm busy. Work on your communication skills. That's important. I'm just saying, when you're trying to elevate, that creates separation, that creates some alone time for you to just lock in. So locking in means your relationships might suffer, because you're going to need some alone time to lock in. It's going to be you versus the world sometimes, bro, because nobody can do the work for you. Nobody can make your goals and dreams come true but you. And that's a lonely journey, man. It just is. That's a lonely process, bro. It just is, bro. It's not easy, man. But it's worth it at the end of the day, because we want to see what our life looks like when we execute at the highest level and when we put in the work. So what does it mean to lock in? Locking in means you giving it everything you got. You giving 110% each and every day. You doing the best that you can each and every day. You're not making excuses. You're locked in. You're not focused on, hanging out, partying, all those old habits that got you nowhere. You're not happy with your life. So you got to lock into something new. Lock into that new version of you and do these habits, create these new habits each and every day. Today, read 5 pages of a book. Work out for 5 minutes. Go outside and walk for 5 minutes. Tomorrow, then you can go ahead and up it to 10. The next day, then you can go ahead and up it to 15. So being locked in doesn't mean that you are all the way in military, bro. It doesn't mean that you move in militant. It doesn't mean that you're a robot. It doesn't mean you don't got no life. It doesn't mean that you can't have a little bit of fun here and there. It just means that the work comes first. That's the priority. It just means that the purpose comes first and you're driven by your purpose. That's the priority. It just means that you're locked into the grind. So those things may take a back seat because locking into the grind is the priority. Locking in means that you got your priority straight. You got your priority straight, man. You might not party for 6 months, bro, because you just literally can't. You don't have the time for it. You're building yourself. So a lot of people say, you know what, no partying, no drinking, no communication with friends, go monk mode, really, dive into who you want to be. See, I can't say, everybody's life is different, bro. What works for you may not work for me. What works for me may not work for you. But one thing I know for certain is that we all have to get our priorities in check. You know the things that you need to work on in your life. You know the priorities that you need to have. You have to prioritize what's important. Get into the bag is important. Money is motion. Motion is movement. Movement is freedom. So money equals freedom. So you have to find ways to hustle. You have to be grateful for your job. You got to show up on time. You might have to do a side job, a side hustle. Maybe you need to create something, follow your purpose, follow your heart, and the money will come. So that's important. You got to prioritize that. You got to prioritize having a relationship with God. That's first and foremost. You got to prioritize yourself, how you look, taking care of yourself, going to the gym, your fitness goals, working out. What is your priorities? Everybody's priorities is different, but we have to have a priority list of what's important. That's mandatory. That's mandatory, bro. And sometimes we prioritize the wrong things. We prioritizing friends and partying and going out every weekend, and that's why we stagnant and we staying in the same place that we've always been. Well, I want different results. And if you want different results, then you got to lock into something new. You got to lock into that new version of yourself. You got to lock into that new life. You got to lock into that new lifestyle. You got to lock into that new gym routine. You got to lock into that new relationship with God that you're trying to build. You got to lock into that. You got to lock into the grind. You want to be a disciplined person, you got to do what disciplined people do, which means that you're doing disciplined things. That's the only way to build discipline. So disciplined things means that I'm doing what I need to do, not what I want to do, because I don't want to put in this work. It's hard, it's tough, it's difficult. I don't want to, but I know that I need to. I know that I have to. And a lot of y'all doing things just because you want to, instead of understanding that you need to do these things. You need to work out. Nobody really want to work out. Nobody want to get up and, I got to lift these weights again. I got to push again. I got to put this work in again. Nah, like all this stuff is hard, but we choose to do it because we know that it's necessary, because we playing the long game. See, the problem is a lot of people playing the short game. The gains that they can get right now, it's all about quickness. It's all about what I can do. It's all about instant gratification, instead of realizing that longevity is really the key to success. Great things always take time. You're not going to get it right away. It's not going to come right away. So what is locking in for real? Locking in means that you're doing the things that you need to do, not the things that you want to do. You don't always want to do it. You don't always want to self-improve, but you know that you have to. You know that you need to do the things that you need to do so you can do the things that you want to do in the future, in the long run. It's about the long run. But if you want to have all the long run fun now and turn it into short-term fun, then you're really missing out on a great life, and you're going to live a mediocre life. And that's the life that most men live. Oh, it's all about, balance, 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 balance. Yeah, to a degree for sure. But when you're always trying to fit in a party, or you're always trying to fit in conversations with people, or you're always trying to fit in things that actually don't serve you or make you a better man, guess what? You're trying to have your fun while you're also trying to work. And sometimes you can't have both. And that's where locking in comes from. It's like, let me lock into the grind. Let me lock into the work. Let me lock into right now. Let me lock into what I'm doing. Let me lock into my purpose. Let me lock in to being the best version of myself. Let me lock in so I can win. 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 Let me lock in so I can win, because it's my turn. They had their turn for too long. They had their turn for a long time. If it can happen for them, it can happen for me. It's our turn. It's the purpose-driven men's turn. So we gotta lock in. We don't want everybody else's results. This ain't about the short term. It's about longevity. It's about the long term. It's about 10, 20, 30 years from now. We talk about NBA players like LeBron James, whether you like him or not. I'm not, he not my favorite player, but I got a lot of respect for him. Why? Because LeBron is longevity. The way that he conditioned himself early on affects how he is later in his career. That's why he's still able to play right now. Lakers looking at giving him a 3-year contract. He'll be 41 in 3 years. They trying to pay him $58 million in that third year. Why? First off, because he LeBron. Second off, because he can still get it done. He can still carry you to the playoffs. So conditioning matters. So what are we doing to condition ourselves? Now, LeBron, he paid like $1 million a year on his body. We may not have $1 million laying around for us to pay on our body. But whatever money we do have, that's important. Whatever we can do, that's important. Going outside, going for a run, going for a walk, conditioning yourself, praying for good health for yourself, making sure that you're taking care of yourself, eating right, eating a good, proper diet that works for you. A lot of these things, man, it matters, bro. That's how we lock in, man. That's how we become great. That's how we become focused. And so, man, what it means to lock in is that you killing your old self. Your old self can't live over here with the kings that's trying to put in this work. Your old self was messing around, messing off, not locked in, not focused, not disciplined. Your old self wasn't consistent. Your old self wasn't putting in the work. But your new self wants to put in the work. So you got to get rid of those old habits, bring in the new, and lock into that. Turn off the distractions and amplify the action. Make those changes in your life that's positive so you can be the best version of you. What it means to lock in, bro. What does it mean to lock in? It's what you want it to mean. Some of y'all lock yourselves out of greatness because you don't want to lock in. Some of y'all lock yourselves out of greatness by stepping outside of yourself and doing things that you weren't even supposed to be doing. Partying, drinking, always wanting to have fun. Some of y'all locking yourselves out of greatness when you were supposed to be locked in that crib, doing them push-ups, locked in, building that business plan, locked in, reading your scripture, working your job, locked into the grind. Like I said, it's one thing for certain. Like, I'm not ever going to tell another man what to do, but I could give advice, or I could talk about my journey and the things I've been through, and hopefully you guys could take something from that. So one thing I know for certain, bro, the one thing that I can tell you is that we all have a priority list. And when you're locking in, if you take anything from this video, what you got to understand is you have to write down your priority list and figure out how you're going to make those things efficient, how you're going to make it happen, and how you're able to work on those things each and every day. A priority list is going to tell you where you're going. It's going to tell you what your life's going to look like. It's also going to tell you what you need to work on in this present moment. What is your priority? If your family is your priority, ask yourself, what does your family need? Your family need money? Well, you need to work. Your family needs you to communicate more. Like, what's your priorities and what do you need to do in order to reach the goal of each priority? That's something that we all have to do. It doesn't matter if you come from Mars. It doesn't matter if you come from Saturn. It doesn't matter if you come from a different part of Earth. It doesn't matter if you're in Australia, you're in India, you're in the Americas, South America, you're in Canada, you're in Europe, you're in South Africa, you know, wherever you guys are at. I know we have people from all over the world watching. We even got girls watching. This actually goes for everybody, but especially for my brothers. One thing that I can tell you, we have to prioritize the things in our life. What's meaningful to me may not be meaningful to you, but what's meaningful to you, you got to find a way to lock in and make that happen. Maybe you really need to lock in on your fitness goals. You got to find a way to make that happen, bro. You know, capiche? That's the video for today. What does it mean to lock in? You tell me. I'll give y'all a little bonus, man. Whoever stayed to the end, I'll give y'all a little bonus. Being locked in, you're going to have a lot of off days, bro. That's what they don't tell you. It's going to be a lot of off days. That doesn't mean that you're not making it to your goal. It doesn't mean that you're not a man that's motivated. It doesn't mean that you're not on your purpose just because you had an off day. It just means we go through stuff. That's what life's about. Ups and downs, ebbs and flows, just like a wave. Sometimes we gonna crash. Sometimes, bro, we gonna be still, just like you see the ocean sometimes. It don't look like it's moving, it's still water. It's a lot of different phases that we go through. But the one thing we gotta do is we gotta do our best to show up. Still an off day, but you still showed up. Maybe you wasn't able to go to the gym, but you still got your butt down and did 50 push-ups. That's better than not doing nothing at all. Some of y'all paralyze yourself because you think that you gotta be perfect and you want the perfect moment and you want the perfect energy and you want the perfect mood in order for you to do what you gotta do to live a better quality of life. But the only thing you gotta do is walk in the rain. It's an off day. The sun ain't out. It's cloudy. Got the video done for today and I'm walking and I'm getting in my steps. I'm doing my workout. Life could be that simple, but instead we choose to complicate it or overcomplicate it. You know, oh, it's raining, I'm not gonna go outside. Well, if you still go outside and push, you're able to get your workout done and you're able to do the things that you need to do necessary to elevate your life. You worried about some rain, you worried about getting wet, or you worried about putting in this work and reaching the next level. You know, again, what's your priorities like? Some of y'all want to stay dry. Y'all love comfort. Y'all love being stagnant. Y'all love being the same. You know, shout out War Baby. War Baby is a member on our channel. And the reason I'm shouting him out is because on Instagram, he be tagging me in his new workout videos. I know that's new for him. I know that's new for War Baby. But he's motivating people now. He's working out. He's showing his progress. He ain't complaining about his weight. He doing something about it. That's what being a man is all about. What are we doing about our situation? So shout out to War Baby. Shout out to all of y'all that's putting in the work. Shout out to all of y'all that's locked in. You know, what can we do but work, bro? Show up for ourselves is showing up for our family. That's showing up for our future kids. When you show up for yourself today, you showing up for yourself tomorrow in many ways that you just don't understand. Putting in the work today is like investments. You know, when you invest in a company and then the company skyrockets 10 years later. That's what it is when you put the work in and you lock in. All you're doing is investing in yourself. See, we can invest in all these other things, but we can't invest in ourselves. I call BS. So when you invest in yourself, you putting in the work now. You putting in the work today for a better tomorrow. And you're gonna reap the benefits and reap the rewards of that, you know? And I promise that. And they always say, don't make promises that you can't keep, you know? Don't promise things to people, but I'm telling you, bro, if you put in the work, where do you think and how do you think your life is gonna get better, bro? That's a promise, bro. It's gonna be better than it is right now, even if it's just in the mental state. Because when you put the work in, you feel happier about yourself and you feel more fulfilled and you feel like you actually making the changes that you want to see in your daily life. So, you know, let's keep striving for greatness. Let's keep striving to be the best version of ourselves. Let's stay purpose driven. And I'll catch y'all for real this time in the next video, man. Let's lock in. Peace. If you locked in, bro, comment below. I'm locked in. All right. I love y'all.